And that's all we're going to do. If you wanted to increase the size of the glow, you could, of course. It'll just give it kind of an interesting effect. I'm going to leave mine at around 15 there. We'll click OK. Now, even after I've applied the effect, you can go in here and apply more streaks. If I go in here in the center and just click, drag up, it will redistribute the layer style based on where you're clicking and dragging, or where you're creating new pixels. I'm just going to brighten up the center area here a little bit. And again, we've got streakies out here, so let's take that eraser tool, brush those away. And there we have our cool little shape. Well, I'm going to scale this up a little bit. And I'm just going to nudge it down. And let's kind of center it. I'm going to do a select all of the entire document, and then just click this center icon up here at the top, align horizontal centers, and there we have it, dead center. Now, let's go over here and grab our text tool. Click inside the document, and I'm just going to type supernova. That's a nice, cool, science, spacey kind of term, isn't it? So I'm going to hold down my Shift Option and just scale that upward. And we have to change the font, because you know there is a standard font in all movie titles and things like that, and of course it is Trajan Pro. Beautiful. And we need to go ahead and fill it with white, so I'm going to press Option Delete since white is on my foreground color, and let's press Command or Control T. And again, holding down Shift Option so it scales proportionally to the center. I'm just going to scale a little bit so it fits right on top of my cool little shape there. Now, I want to put the same layer style that's on this little nebulous cloud onto that lettering. So to do it real quickly and easily, I'm going to hold down my Alt or Option key and just click right on the effects icon in the layer and just drag it to the desired layer you want to apply it to, and boom, there you've copied the layer style. Look how cool that is. Well, I'm going to put a quick layer mask on that text, and let's grab the gradient tool here using the foreground, the transparent, and let's make sure we've got black set as our foreground color, so I'm just going to press the letter X to flop those colors. And again, starting from the bottom of the lettering, we are on the lettering, not the shape layer. Hold down my Shift key, I'm just going to drag upward a little bit, and that kind of gives it, almost like it pushes it back, like that cloud is kind of in front of the lettering. And that's giving me a cool result there. So let's go ahead and take our move tool. I'm going to hold down my Shift key and select both layers and nudge that up into the middle. May even go ahead and press Command or Control T, and let's scale that up a little bit. And that's looking pretty good. So now let's add one more thing, or actually a couple more things just to finish this off. I'm going to go ahead and create a new blank layer above all these other layers, and I'm going to press Shift Delete. And we're going to use 50% gray as our fill, and then click OK. Then we're going to go into the Filter menu and choose Render Lens Flare. And we're going to use a lens flare that I've never really used that much. In fact, that makes total sense. Movie Prime. You know, I usually use this 50 to 300, and that looks okay sometimes, but I really like the Movie Prime because it's got these kind of straight angular lines here that kind of go along with what we're doing. So click OK. And to blend it with my image, we'll simply change the blend mode of this layer to hard light. And look how cool that is. Now, these lines here tend to get cut off a little bit, so it's just a matter of dropping a layer mask on that. And again, using the foreground, the transparent gradient, just coming in from the top, come in from the bottom there, perhaps in a little bit from the sides here. Gives me kind of a cool finished effect there. I might even want to make that text a little bit bigger. And again, it's still editable text, so scaling it doesn't do anything to the pixels, just makes it a little bit more readable. Now, one last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select that layer with the shape on it and pop a new layer above it. And again, as we did before, I'm going to Option or Alt click that effects icon and drag it to the new layer so it puts the layer style on there. And again, back to the smudge tool, using that same smudge brush, but this time I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to use my left bracket key and just kind of make it a little bit smaller there. And instead of going up or down like we did before, I'm going to click, hold down the Shift key at certain points on the lettering, and then go left to right. Just like this. And what it's going to do is give me kind of a cool streak there. If I click, hold down the Shift key and drag left, click, hold down the Shift key, drag right, and just do that at random points. And you don't have to go left or right on every one. I can just go over here and click, hold down my Shift key, go left, and there's a cool streak. Let's go over here, click, Shift key, go right, click, Shift key. You can even go outside the area here a little bit and do all kinds of cool things. But I think you're getting the idea of how you can use various tools in ways you never thought of before, like that smudge tool. I never would have thought that I could create this kind of effect on it until you experiment and see what kind of cool things they can do. And then you start to think, all right, that's what the tool can do. How can I take this further? What can I apply this to? So, hope you learned something there. Give it a try yourself. I hope you have a good time, and we'll see you again.